Good afternoon, everybody. Silver Dragon here, coming at you with a pretty quick little update video on Balrum. Now, Balrum is a old-school hybrid turn-based open-world RPG that is being released by the fabulous folks called the Balcony Team. A bit of an odd name, but that works for me. Now, I have done a few series or Let's Plays on this game. It was only made available to the backers of the Kickstarter for the game. As far as I'm aware, there hasn't been any additional pre-orders that were available for anyone else that wanted to jump into it. It was pretty much exclusively for us, which doesn't happen too often. So, I'm personally very happy about that. But, it sucks that a lot of you guys also haven't been able to access this. Now, the game is releasing its 51st update, or its 51st blog update here. I'm not exactly sure which beta version this is, version 09205 or whatnot. But we have a new version, a very big content drop, a lot of really big changes, and I'm going to be going over them and kind of just going over the list of things that have been added and changed. Tomorrow, when I actually have some time, I've had some sleep, I will hopefully begin a new Let's Play on this, and we'll see how that kind of works out, as they have mentioned that some of the balancing has been added in as well. Alright, let me go ahead and get rid of this image here for a second. So, this is, of course, the Kickstarter update. You can view this just on the Kickstarter page. I will link to that. But we're just going to go over this and some major things here. There's almost the entire game, and this is the big part here, because the game was very unbalanced throughout its initial stages for the past while, so that's why I ended up stopping. Partially was because it was so unbalanced in certain ways. It has been most of the entire game has been rebalanced and redesigned. Almost nothing is how it has been. From basic mechanics to bigger features, the new renderer, everything is new. Even the maps received a huge amount of changes. When you start the game, you might feel that it's familiar. When you play a few minutes, you'll definitely feel that something is different. It's the game we had in mind. We started a Kickstarter campaign. Balrum is our first game, so most likely there are a few bugs lurking around. But this time we can finally show you a game we are proud of. Previous versions were merely a shadow of what Balrum is now, which is fucking fantastic. Thank you for all the bug reports. All critical bugs have been fixed, including a few nasty bugs prevented you from running the game. New version, yada yada. So the big changes. So they will have a manual. It's pretty basic right now. But for those that already have it, we do have a manual. Fantastic. Game has been rebalanced, top down. It's a new game. Small important mechanics have been heavily altered. Your dexterity now influences a lot of things. Enemy spells and stats have been completely rebalanced, as well as your character's stats and abilities. Leveling up skills is different. You don't have to create dozens of weapons just to advance your weapons. Fuck yeah! That's all I can say about that. Your weapon crafting skill to a new level. If you have spare learning points, you are able to learn a new level of the skill from a teacher. Nice. I like that system. Traders, teachers, daily routines, enemy AI, item values, survival mechanics, cooking, alchemy, weapon armor, crafting, and a lot of other things that have an impact on each other have been rebalanced to keep every aspect of the game in mind. Fantastic. Loot has been wiped on every map and hand placed again with much more care. New content, we got some new quests and lore bits. Chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5 are now nearly completed. So we don't have access to the entire story yet, but that will be put in on release. Now, I should mention they have not yet announced a release date. One could almost consider this the final version for us testers, I would say. Maybe there might be one more where there's some bug fixes and a couple of additions. But I'm assuming content-wise, this might be the last big update we get before the game is released. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to be going on early access. They will just release the game, hopefully on Steam and such, but we'll get more information on that later. World Balrum is now large enough for every adventure, but not too large that the content is sparse. Multiple twists to the main story, a lot of side quests for you to adventure on. If you know, the main story has 3 paths. The guild you choose will determine your path. You are extremely excited to show all the new chapters, but as you know, that will only happen on full release for good reasons. Yes, very good reasons, and I approve of that. All we can tell you is that new chapters have multiple times bigger, and that you will experience during beta. We'd love to tell you that more things we can't, because it's impossible to tell you because spoilers and other issues. So yes, that is fantastic. New spells. This is really nice here. There's a lot of new spells available from teachers throughout Balrum. Threat values are now our new mechanic, which is really nice. Have been added to abilities and spells. There's a large amount of new spells as well. We got Piercing Arrow, Weakened healing, anger strike, which would be a physical ability, threat low. Requires a melee weapon, so even though this is an axe, it just requires any melee weapon. Any ranged weapon and ammunition, teleport away, just increase the distance between you and the guy, obviously. Blind, silence, all that good stuff. When you throw an item, it doesn't disappear anymore. It gets placed on a bag on the ground. You'll be able to find everything you throw on the ground, so nothing will disappear. If something goes wrong while crafting, your inventory overflows, items will be placed on the ground with a warning message. Fantastic. Durability of items. A number of items now have durability. You can repair them that are ruined at a blacksmith. If an item gets ruined, you have it equipped, it will be placed in your inventory and cannot be used until you repair it. Fantastic. Known recipes. You will be able to look at your recipes anytime you want. There is a new button next to the quick slots. This button, known recipe button, yada yada yada. When you discover new combination items, the recipe will be automatically stored in your known recipes books. You may not necessarily have to just buy the recipes from somebody. You may just be able to craft it up yourself, discover the recipe, and then there you go. Although I'm not sure, it depends how this works out. Will depend on we'll see how it works, because it could be like this. I could make it myself, or maybe I have to buy the recipe still. I'm not sure if there is an experimentation button, but we will have to see when we get to the actual crafting stages. Your pet. More animals are now tameable. Pet button now tells you more information about your pet. There are new options that let you click on your pet or right-click your pet. Options will allow you to precisely tell your pet what you want him to do, which is fantastic, because the pets have been a little iffy for a while. They would kind of wander a bit on their own. They may not necessarily engage in combat if they're too far away, so it had its issues, but hopefully this will work out quite well for that. There was also something, I'm not sure if it's mentioned up ahead here, but with the threat, I think it is mentioned up ahead, so I'm gonna leave that for that. The map, this is something that I find fantastic. The map now shows where you have been, where you haven't been. Before, you just had the map as is. You kind of had to figure out where the hell you were. So at least now it'll kind of show you where you've been, where you haven't been. You can put notes on the map, like this castle here, like there's 5 NPCs in here, or there's skeletons in here, or something like that. You can left click and put a little note on the map, which is awesome. Dungeons now have mini maps. Unlike the Darkwood map that is slightly faded, because you have discovered it entirely throughout the years you've lived there, mini maps are not discovered at all, so you have to kind of explore through and unlock the various areas, which is awesome. Target locking has also been updated, which is fantastic. You first left click on an enemy, will lock it. This will allow you to look at the buffs that might be on your target. These buffs might be very important, so watch out, such as enraged, increased damage, so back the F away kind of thing. So the game is kind of turn-based and real-time in the same time, from what I remember. Or no, is it just complete turn-based? Well, I'll figure it out completely as we go back into let's playing it here again. When target is locked, you will have something appearing around the frame of it. When casting a spell or using a ranged ability with the right click, target locking will happen automatically. Nice. Basic mechanics. Your character panel now tells you a lot more about your stats, which is amazingly fantastic, because for the longest time, we really didn't know a lot about what the stats did specifically. That was another big issue that I had, was that we just kind of had to guess what the hell they did. For the most part, so other than their relation to needing, say, a high enough strength for a certain skill or something, it was mostly a guessing game. So that alone is a really nice addition. Here is the threat one I was talking about, we were trying to hint at before. Most spells and abilities now have threat values, meaning that if your bear is attacking your pet and you heal the pet, the bear might decide that I'm going to come for you instead, which is nice. Especially because that would mean that the dog itself would also generate a lot more threat, hopefully, if you're facing multiple opponents. You could tell your dog to actually attack it, something specific like a left opponent, while you deal with the right one, which was a bit more difficult previously. Everything now is logged in the logbook, quests, combat, for checking up on before. Livestock mechanic has been changed a bit. You're able to place down animal pens. You can release the animals you found or bought inside the pens. Pen barrels and trowel will tell you everything you need to know about your animals, and if they need to be fed or anything, how many days. The food is good for 4 days, so that is like, they've made so many changes to this, and it is fantastic. So this right here is your homestead, essentially. When you're RPGing around the world, doing quests, collecting stuff, you can use a specific stone to warp back here. The entirety of this house, everything in it, can be placed and changed by you. Everything from gardens to the pens, all this is built by you. The storage bits here. These are made using lumber, but then you can store lumber in them in large amounts and so on and so forth for hay. We can cook food in here. I believe this stores any liquids, possibly alcohol. So there's so many different mechanics to this game that make it really interesting and in-depth. That's why I've been really waiting for this balanced version to come out so I could finally dive back in and really get into this game, because it is truly fantastic. When you enter your safe place, press B. The building menu will pop up. New building panel. New panel will allow you to create your home much faster and is much more comfortable, because before you had to kind of cycle through each individual wall, but now it has a full list here, so this is great. This is much more convenient. Shield trophy may require, like, say, Carpenter of 2. It's worth 10 Thaler, and it requires all these ingredients to make it, and then we can place it on the wall. We also have all these little bits and bobs here. These have some uses. Storage containers can store stuff, the bookshelves, and so on for sorting. Some of them are just decorational. This is a nice one. Critical crafting. All your crafted items have a chance to be critical crafts. They receive stat bonuses and are grouped in a different inventory slot for easy access. You can boost your critical chance with certain items and buffs. Alchemy has also been heavily changed and redesigned. It's now a very special feature of Balrum. You're able to create real magical potions, not just healing mana potions and some mildly intriguing ones. Able to create truly powerful ones. Can make you do things like Steps of Fire. Make a potion that reflects all damage against you. You can even create potions that will have multiple effects and do special events. New event would be... Wait. You'll find the event buff system in the alchemy feature. Events will play out in order. You place the ingredients in the effect of the bottle. These events, after these events have stopped, the buff effect of your potion has to be added to your character. Wait, what? Any buff effect that your potion has will be added to your character. Oh! So if there's an event, like, say, you take 50 damage, like 50% damage, you could have a potion that will automatically heal you. Necessarily, like if you pop a potion that has an event where if you get to 50% health, it'll initiate a healing effect, then that would really help for that. Cooking as well has been redesigned. You now have to select the main material of your recipe. The main material will heavily influence what food you're capable of holding, or what influence your food is capable to hold. Okay, creating food is now much different from alchemy, which is so nice. With alchemy, you're able to create potions that instantly regenerate your health and mana, but with special foods, you can regenerate a certain amount of health and mana each turn. If you create really special recipes, you might get stat boosts for X amount of turns, able to bake bread. First, you have to figure out how to make flour, and after that, you need to combine the flour with something to make dough. Then you have to, when you have the dough, simply put it in an oven, and it'll bake your bread. Hover over the main materials for more information. Fantastic. We can see this one right here. Like, the main material would be bread. And making a salad. I'm not sure if it would ask for additional materials, but it modifies weapon critical hit chance, or hit chance, by, wait, that's weird, -1 to 39% over 44 turns? I'm not sure. I'm assuming you have a 39% better chance to hit. That seems a little weird to me. Also, fire resistance. Fantastic. Modifies wisdom. Attributes over maximum. And it'll increase your hunger. Cough. There's the millstone, which is something we can put down in our house to craft the flour. We could also put down plots of land to grow the wheat. We also do have to... one of the biggest issues with growing... food previously was there was a disease that could occur in your farms, and it spread very quickly, and the ingredient or the potion that gets rid of that was very expensive, so it became very, very inefficient to do farming. So yeah, that's one of the things I hope they balance. Weapon and armor crafting is all new. Able to select what your custom armor will look like. Ooh, that is fantastic. You can also use many more ingredients while creating your custom items. It'll allow you to create truly unique ones. Hover over the main material for more information. Fantastic. And of course, the GUI zoom has been updated. Able to make the GUI bigger, go to the options and panel and tweak it so we can, yeah, just increase the size of everything. And of course, zooming in is much more smoother, which is nice. Ooh, sharpened. They also sharpened it up a little bit there. That's not too bad. It definitely has a little bit of... Yes, the left one here. The left one is the sharp, but the right one is kind of blurry a little bit if you look at the tiles. That's actually quite nice. Number of new options. So we have raindrop effects, wind, if you don't want to be having that all the time, which I will. I like that. Big cursor. I don't know why I would want a big cursor. Colorblind mode, of course, because some people need that. The resolution and the hertz. Those are pretty not too bad there. 30 FPS mode if you want to lock into that, I suppose. I always leave that unlocked. Old school lighting. I wonder how old school lighting would affect with the rest of it. I would have to try it out at some point. And they're using a new renderer. It has OpenGL 3 Plus renderer. New renderer allowed us to make the game feel smoother and more future-proof, which is awesome. If you wish to use the old OpenGL 1 renderer, you can do so by selecting in the options menu. Pardon me. Which would be the modern renderer, which would be the new one. So if you really want to change it back, you can. I can't imagine why you would want to, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. Entirely new input system has been rewritten. There are new input features and many old bugs have been fixed. Awesome. And, of course, there's been a crap ton of fixes. So that is the entirety of this update. Apologize if I am boring you. I could have easily just, thrown up a link and been like, read it yourselves. But I decided to zip through it and kind of add some little bits and bobs from what I played previously in the game. So this is actually one of the villages, the starting village, if I'm not mistaken, that we start off in. Now, I will be playing this tomorrow for probably, I'll put at least an hour in to start off with. So this is just the pre-update, kind of explaining everything that's with the new version. And then we will kind of just jump right in and explore it and see how things are and pretty much have some fun with it. So yeah, definitely look forward to that. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow with this fantastic game. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great one.